Hello, everybody, and welcome to a regular scheduled meeting of the City Council of the City of Pearsall, scheduled for today, January the 9th at 6 p.m. at City Hall. City Secretary, may I have a roll call, please?
Ben T. Briscoe.
Here.
James Leal. Rachel Garza. Here. Tiffany Talamantes. Here. Sonia Hernandez. Here. Ramiro Trevino.
Here.
Brenda Trevino. Here. Aurora Garza. Here.
All right, thank you very much. We have a quorum, and we need communication with the president. Dear God, Lord, thank you for another day on this earth. Father, I pray that you be with us, guide us, direct us as we go about the city business. Father, thank you for these men and women that provide the services and the items that we need that make life so simple and great. Lord, continue to watch and guide over them. Thank you for our law enforcement. Lord, we pray your hand be especially upon them. Father, guide counsel tonight as we go through the agenda items. Lord, we ask that your hand be upon this country. Thank you for the freedoms that we enjoy as Americans. Lord, help us to continue to do our part to keep us strong and free. We pray these things in Jesus Christ, your Son's name. Amen. Sonia?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all. Be seated. I'll remind everybody to please silence your phones. And with that, City Secretary, do we have any citizens to be heard?
No, sir, we do not have anybody
Okay.
signed.
All right. With that, mayor's moments and staff reports, just real quickly. Want to remind everybody, if you haven't looked at your weather forecast for the next week or so, we're going to be getting some really cold weather. So know, citizens, that the city is going to be working hard to make sure our utilities continue to flow and work. So that's coming up. Be sure you prepare your own house as much as possible. And today is a very special day because today is Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. And I can't say enough about our law enforcement officers and folks. If you don't know it, I can just tell you, law enforcement is the thin line between us and chaos. And there's some plainclothes in here, and then our city staff that's also law enforcement. But we are very grateful for what you guys do, your willingness to at times put your life on the line, to keep us safe and to keep us free from the many plagues that are out there that plague society. So for each of you that are in law enforcement, and Judge, you spent a full career in law enforcement, and we're grateful for that as well. So God bless you guys and what you do. We've got some new officers here. We're excited about that relative that today is Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So with that, thank you all very much for what you do, and we are grateful. With that, we're going to go over our staff reports. Hector, you want to come up and lead us off?
Should I move?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
You're the center.
All right. Good evening, Council Mayor.
Good evening.
Not much to go on here. I do want to point out that our average water leaks are dwindling down a little bit. That's due to the season. Not much else. Everything is routine. It's on your paperwork there. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. We did have a major, and it's duly noted on here. I didn't think it made the list, but it did. We had a major line break not too long ago causing low water pressure. So most parts of town, especially on the east side. So that was repaired. So that was our most significant water leak. But if you notice that the amount of water leaks that we have, it's down. It's mostly at this time of the year. We get them mostly on the private side. So hopefully it give us time to work on other stuff that we got going on here. So if you have any other questions, I'll be more than happy to shoot that. Let's see what else.
Council, do you have any questions? Yes, sir.
Hector, the question that I had is, I know that we had some sort of issue with a huge pothole in Colorado Street, Liberty Street, that was circling. So, is that taken care of?
No, and it's nowhere near where.
part of what we're gonna address is the well item,
Yes.
we should talk about, it's an agenda item number, where is it, 8, I believe it's 8, D, but that will be part of the discussion, we can refer.
Okay, great, thank you.
Go ahead. I'm gonna piggyback off of what he said. I was gonna ask that question too. Okay, so the water tower that's being fixed over there, whatever, that water's diverting into people's lawns. Are we trying to avoid, cause I actually passed by there and I saw like a
Can we ask
big.
that from item 8D?
Okay, okay.
We can address
Thanks,
it.
thanks,
Go,
thanks.
Councilman, more detail on that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
I have a question on potholes, because I know there are several all over. Do you have like a hotline or something? Do y'all just drive around finding them? How can we address those that are all over?
Routinely, we pick a quadrant. We'll work on a quadrant.
Okay,
We'll try to hit the 100 pothole mark, you know, per day, sometimes per day.
per day.
Yes, we try to concentrate on a quadrant, but the hotline you referred
I mean,
to,
how can we get it out there that we are trying to?
through dispatch. You call dispatch and then they'll send us out. They'll send a work order, create a work order and send it out, and we'll address that specific area.
And you mentioned quadrant. How often are y'all switching? Like, how often are you rotating?
Well, we try, on the street side, we try to do a quadrant a month,
Okay,
because it encompasses,
right.
because we do get calls, so we get called out to this portion of the town
Okay.
and so forth.
When you say dispatch, is that
Freehold County.
True.
Yes, you
So
can-
do the citizens know that? Do we have that out like on a water bill, paper?
We
They
should,
should
yes.
know that?
It used to be 3311, but I think the number changed.
Okay,
Other than that, everybody's aware of it.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Council, do you have any other questions?
No?
All right, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Next, I'm gonna call the judge, Judge De Leon. And Judge, if you would brief the council, we have a new code enforcement officer, and I know he's contributing to the workload somewhat, so brief us on that a
I
little bit.
was putting out other fires, the only thing I got is the OCA, unless y'all have that other sheet.
Okay, okay. So we'll defer to that. We'll brief you all on the code enforcement officer in just a little bit. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Judge.
The OCA report's pretty much, on a regular incline so far as the last 3 years, so far as the revenue coming in to the city and the state. There's still been quite a bit of, indigencies that we've had to write off because the people that qualified according to, state laws, you know, we are required to grant them that. The others are also, cleared by either, jail time credit request, whether they're people here or from out of town that send in, letters, and, we'll notify them that they qualify if they provide all the necessary paperwork. Again, the, community service, that slowed down a little bit, but we're getting back on track. We've got a, regular court date this month, and then we've got, truancy for the school. It's, thanks to a certain council member, we got to make that happen, because, man, we kind of had a little breakdown in communication, but we got it taken care of, and we're back on track. But so far as the, and I'll touch base a little bit on that, the new code enforcement officer, he's been out there, he's closed a lot of, to my understanding, some of the old cases, Ms. Moran, correct, that, you know, they were kind of left in limbo. It's kind of like, anytime administration changes, whether it's council members, mayor, city manager, judges, whatever, when people leave, it's like, you know what, it's not my problem anymore. So when somebody else comes in, you find that, hey, you know, some documents weren't taken care of, or they were put on the back burner. You know, we find out the hard way sometimes, and we go back and try to make the best we can to where there's no liabilities on anybody's part. But I hear nothing but good things from the code enforcement officer. He looks like he's a real PR type person that works with the people. You know, I haven't heard anybody complain. with Mr. Esquivel, and actually Richard Lopez, same thing. You know, he goes out there and kind of de-escalates the situation and talks to people, you know, and says, hey, let's go by the steps and, you know, we'll get from point A to point C, you know. But without having the actual numbers, you know, I can't really tell you, other than what I got with LCA.
All right, council, you have any questions for our judge? Looks like none. Judge, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up, our police chief, Andrew Flores.
Mr. Reese, Council Green. So, we had a pretty good month in December. It was very productive as far as, what we were able to do with the community. There were a lot of events that we took part in. Some of the events that they were from the PD, but it was very productive. Some of them, we had a meeting early in the month to address some of the deficiencies that we've been having with the PD. Just some of the things that we wanted to clear up, kind of, just fix the stuff that we needed to look into, see where we can do better, see what we can correct, look at some of the issues that we've been having in the reports and things like that. We also visited the nursing home in December, where we were able to provide just small gifts to some of the residents. We weren't able to reach out to every resident, but we walked around and gave to everybody that we saw. And it was very nice. It brought lots of smiles to them, and I thought it was a good thing. I don't remember if we did that last year. Also, we had the Christmas parade, the toy drive, the Blue Santa, where we, Pearsall Police Department, I wanna say, and I'd be lying if I gave you an exact number, but I'm thinking it was probably around $7,000 worth of toys that we were able to give out this year. I know some people were kind of disappointed from what I had heard off of the social media. So we're looking at different ways that we might do it next year, just to try and involve everybody, or at least give everybody the same opportunity. It's really tough to satisfy everyone, but we did try our best this year. So, with the numbers, we had 63 offenses in December. 56 of them were sole reports, meaning there were 56 calls where offenses took place, but there were 63 offenses that occurred within those 56 calls. We arrested 18 people in December, and we had 133 incident reports. We did have a lower amount of citations and warnings, but it could have been just the fact that we were so busy with all the events. And I'll get to the other part in just a second. Citations, we had 66, and warnings, we had 134. We had 29 security checks, but I say we got hit hard because it was higher than normal. It's actually higher than we even had during the summer, from what I remember. But we had almost 600 calls for service in December. We were at 598. So that's a lot of work for the department. It's just call after call after call. I wish y'all could see how my day shift officers are, because they're constantly moving. It's call to call to call, and I honestly feel bad for them at times. And we are getting better. I'm very happy to announce we have 2 officers here that we got ready to go. Thanks to Captain Gutierrez, Lieutenant Jimenez, we were able to push them through, get them through, and they started before 2024. So we're very proud to see that we're moving in the right direction. And we still have vacancies, but it looks good. Right now, we have one person that, as long as he passes the academy, he's going to be applying with us, and he's going to be working with us pretty soon. There's also others that have been interested, just the timing isn't right now for them. We are heading in the right direction, and hopefully we can fill all the vacancies here in 2024. Anybody have any questions?
Chief, thank you very much, and we appreciate very much what you're doing. Great, great. All right, that concludes our staff report.
Mayor, I do
yeah.
have Mayor Protem James Leal on as 6:15.
Okay, very good. Okay, Ms. Moran, you have some staff reports for us?
I'm going to be really brief. Good evening, Mayor, good evening, Council. You have those reports. I'm just going to point out some highlights for the code enforcement. If you look at the graph that was submitted, you'll note that for November and December, the chart shows that we have increased our code enforcement, and that's with Code Enforcement Officer Gano Esquivel, who's been with us for about 2 months. You'll also know we filed about 44 cases, and we are closing some of the cases, as Judge De Leon spoke of. Building inspections, we have increased the amount of building permits that are coming in. If you look at the amount in fees, one of the reasons it's, in my opinion, is low is because our fee structures haven't changed in quite a while. So we will be in the next budget cycle, we will be introducing some new fee schedules for permitting. For community development, basically we continue to improve our services in terms of reaching out to the public, educating them about the building permit process, code enforcement, working closely with Ms. Bianca to work on new permits that will make it a little more user-friendly, also being able to pay online and also filling out those permits online. We are getting ready for, we submitted a grant for a, what we call an air curtain burn incinerator through Public Works. We are getting ready to present that application on Friday. It looks very promising, and we hope to use that not only to be able to burn our brush, but also as an educational tool to take to the public library and to the schools and show them what source reduction is and recycling. So we'll use that as an educational opportunity as well. Library, we had a really good turnout at the Christmas lighting of the tree. Our library board has been very active. We've been meeting once a month. We're getting ready to plan activities for this coming year, getting ready for spring. So you'll see that. We do post those that calendar on our social media websites as well. And I believe Mr. Odeto's here to do parks.
All right, thank you. Any questions for our assistant city manager? Yolanda, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have them speak a little bit to the parks.
Mayor, Council, evening. We'll be very brief. It was a short month due to employees, some of them were taking off and doing their vacations and holidays. So this will be very brief. We had our last tournament was scheduled on December the 9th and the 10th for 2023. As of right now, we're not having any tournaments until we finish our fields to get ready for next year. I've still continued to communicate with Deborah Dockery on the architect services for the sports complex survey project. 2 employees were sent to a chemical spill training in December. We still have our registered park employees for their pesticide application webinar to keep up with their license. We're also working on the improvements to the chamber building sign. I continue to work with Pearsall Independent School District and Dilley Independent School Districts on the use of the sports complex for their school activities, baseball and softball activities. We'll continue to communicate on the improvements at Moreno Park. Hopefully we should get something down by the end of this month, or if not next month. The fields if anybody gone by the complex, the fields have already been overseeded, and they're really, really nice. They look green, so we're getting that ready. So now all we got to do is just make sure we get the infields up to par for the next season. I'm gonna go ahead and calculate the tonnage of infill mix that we're gonna need to get all those 4 fields up to par. We started as far on the build facility maintenance, we started to remove the carpet at the library to see how that's gonna look without the carpet on it. So we just started in a small area, I think it was the break room, just to see how it's gonna look. We've also scheduled the repainting of some of the police offices there at the PD.